Hi guys, it's Medea here. This is episode 2 of Medea's Musings, my vlog where I talk about all things dance from my perspective, I guess. I will be answering your questions, things that you've sent in or things that people just ask me randomly, wherever, whenever. So I will start by answering one question that I've been getting a lot lately, which is, how do I cast Rebel Belly shows? I happen to be casting a few shows right now, so that's, I guess, why. So it happens usually one of 2 or 3 ways. Essentially what happens is I either have an idea for who's going to be in it by the time I even tell anybody about it, or I open the show up for submissions from people. I'll post a little blurb about what it is, and then people send me their ideas for acts that they want to do. And that tends to be really great. And other times it's just, and most of the time really, it's just a combination of both of those things. I usually have sort of the outline of what I think the show will be, or the theme of the show, and then I let the bells know, my sort of principal dancers, my company, my crew, my cast, or my crew, my Rebel Bells. I let them know, and then I contact, sometimes often actually, I'll contact a few dancers right away that I think would be really great in the show, depending on the theme and their aesthetic and their style and all that. And then I open it up to submissions, because I love to include, you know, obviously the community and see what people have to offer, because there's a shit ton of talent in this town. So most often it's sort of a combination of that, me already having the cast in my mind and also opening it up to other people to do their stuff. I tend to lean towards my shows being all professional shows. I've done monthly shows and stuff where it's kind of Hofla style, or all levels of experience from students to pros and all that, and that's fantastic, and there's definitely a need for that and a place for that, and I appreciate that for sure. But when I created Rebel Belly, it was largely to put together sort of high-end, big deal theatrical shows that consisted of professional dancers, and so that's kind of that. So if somebody submits a piece and I know that they've never performed before, or they're kind of new to performing, I might kind of talk to them about their experience and maybe encourage them to apply again in another show in the future, because I definitely am kind of a stickler about that. Not that they're not fantastic. Everybody has their right to dance, and I certainly support their journey, but my shows tend to be all professionals. That's not to say I don't have, don't make exceptions once in a while, and it's on a case-by-case basis, show-by-show basis. For example, with Wonderland, that show was cast already in my mind before I even told anybody about it. I kind of knew who I wanted to be in each part, and it happened to be that, the majority of the cast were already friends of mine in the scene in Seattle anyway, so I was really lucky in that aspect. So, just look at Letty Limbach. She embodied Alice just perfectly, and Sarah Kate as the White Rabbit, and Kat as the cat. If you look at them and you see them in their roles, they just completely nailed it, and they brought those characters to life, and not just by the aesthetic, how they looked and how they moved, but they just really have a theatrical nature about them that really brought those characters to life, and I knew that they would do that, so that's why I asked them to be in those parts. And it was shows like Time Warp that we're working on for June. That show is mostly made up of submissions. I really wanted it to be an interpretive piece where I sort of give the general outline of what the show is going to be and a couple guidelines, for rules or restrictions, which, you know, not much really. And then just sort of let it fly. And I've had just crazy amounts of really fantastic submissions, and it's going to be really hard to narrow that one down to 14 acts or whatever. But yeah, so that's how that is cast, or being cast. With, you know, oftentimes too, there will be dancers who are chosen or asked to be in the show specifically because of their aesthetic, or because I've seen them do a piece that I really thought would fit well with the show. You know, I'm always really open to learning about new performers or seeing somebody do something really exciting and sort of out of the box that they normally live in. So even if there's a dancer that asks to perform or submits a piece, even if I've never seen them do something like that before, I'm always really curious to see them sort of step out of that box and try something new and crazy. So that's kind of cool too. So yeah, and I have my favorites. It's for sure. There's definitely a handful of dancers in the scene that I have in my shows frequently, because not because I'm trying to play favorites, but because they're just insanely talented and they just always blow it out of the, you know, get it out of the ballpark. Is that what you say? Yeah, baseball is not a good metaphor for me. What else can I say about casting? I guess that's kind of it. I mean, essentially just, you know, I get really excited about a theme or an idea or inspired by something, and I create a show around it, and I want more than anything for the performers in this scene to bring that vision to life. So whether it's me asking them to do it or them submitting an act to do it, in the end it always comes down to whether or not I feel like they can, you know, create that vision for me on that stage. So that's kind of exciting. It's very exciting. I love few things more in the dance world than to see a performer or performers just really come to life and rock a stage and kick ass. So it's fun to be sort of a facilitator in that a little bit. So I guess that's all I can say about casting. See you next time.